Welcome everyone to Effective Marketing Automation. I am Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you here with us today. We're going to talk through how to build yourself a marketing strategy that you can set and forget to build a baseline so that you can be more proactive with the marketing that you do actually do. At BizzyWeb, we like to help our clients work smarter instead of harder. And so this is going to go through some of the ways that we help you save time and effort and continually warm up your leads so that you can get better results. You might wonder who we are, and here's a little bit of detail about BizzyWeb. We are a digital marketing agency located in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have all kinds of wonderful content and help, but the biggest thing that we do for our clients is we help companies with hungry sales teams generate new leads and automate those leads via inbound marketing, marketing strategy and tactics, and website design to drive new content, connections, engagement, and results into your business. We are inbound marketing certified with HubSpot. We're Google partners. And personally, I am a national speaker and trainer for Google. So I go all over the country to share how you can grow your business with marketing and digital marketing strategy. Here's our agenda for the day. We're going to talk through some automation basics, the kind of things that you need to know and consider as you're growing your business online. We'll talk through editorial calendars, how to set up email automation strategies, social media, and then lead nurturing and converting based on the basic tenets of inbound marketing and marketing automation. This is intended to be a semi-interactive solution today for you. So if you would like to join us or ask questions, you can connect on this page and click on the directly on YouTube using the Q&A tool on the right side of the screen. If you click that link, it's going to take you into this page. I'll click play so that you can see what it looks like. And as you look through that, you're going to be able to see on this page under chat details so that you can connect. So if you actually look through this, you can actually respond to messages and connect with us that way. So that is how that's going to work. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to revisit via the link so that you can see how that looks. You go into this and you can see we're already sharing the screen. And then under chat here, you can connect up and supply or ask those questions via this Say Something tool. So you can ask your question here or send a note to dave@BizzyWeb.com for more details. All right, so that's how you can reach us and how you can get out. We would love to connect with you and to help. This is entirely set up so that you can do exactly that. So if you have questions or concerns, that is how you can reach out to us. Without further ado, then, let's get right into the content for today. All right, as I mentioned, we're going to talk through automation basics and then editorial calendars, email, social media, and lead nurturing and conversion. So as we go through that, we're going to pause on each of these, and I'm going to recap a little bit as we get through each section. But I'm intending this to get as quick as possible into the details of automation. So let's get rolling. First, in basics for automation, you really need to consider using some sort of software to keep all of this marketing activity straight. Of course, you should have a CRM or a customer relationship management database. The one that we use is at BizzyWeb is called HubSpot. And HubSpot's free CRM is a brilliant way to connect and collect all of your leads so that you can do something proactive with them. Then there are sales and marketing softwares that HubSpot offers that will help you do more of the things that you're going to see today, as well as doing a lot of other proactive outreach. So this is not going to be a sales pitch for any specific software or tool, and this is all going to be evergreen and platform agnostic content. But so you know, this is the tool that we use, and we absolutely love it. So if you have specific questions about how HubSpot can help you, there's lots of ways to do this stuff, and we're actually going to focus on some ways other than HubSpot as well. But if you're serious about this, really take a strong look at getting a tool that you can use and trust, whether it's Salesforce and Pardot, whether it's Infusionsoft or Constant Contact or some other tool. You really do need to make use of professional grade tools in order to do some of the automation that we're going to talk through today. Once you get your software set up, you're going to want to set workflows based on actions. Those actions are going to be easy connections and specifically designed around some specific call to action inside of your marketing. If you do that, you're going to ask people to fill out a form, to respond to an email, to give you a call, or to stop in or purchase from your business. And that's going to be the basics of how to continue your outreach strategy. As you do this, of course, make sure that you're respecting your user. If someone signs up for a specific kind of messaging, don't barrage them with all kinds of other stuff. No one likes spam. And the difference, especially now with all of the new regulations and things that are out there, as far as the European Union and GDPR, you need to make sure that you're respecting your user and actually connecting with them in the way that they're asking you to connect. So only connect with them with the topics and things that they've explicitly asked you to deliver. Make sure that you're adding value with every single interaction, and don't go out of the way with asks for information or detail. One of the worst things that you can do is go to a landing page on marketing that's going to ask for too much information, because if the value of the content you're delivering does not match or is what you're asking for outstrips the value of the content that you're giving them. So for example, if you were giving them a free pencil and you asked for their credit score and their social security number, that's too big of an ask. If, however, you're simply asking for an email address in trade for the white paper that's going to help them figure out how to do some content like this, that's an easier or fair trade. And then, of course, once you're doing all of this, you need to set it into something to help you continue to sort, and you kind of need a virtual sales assistant. And so using a good CRM, you can actually use lead scoring to know when to specifically contact folks. This is something that we're continually improving inside of BizzyWeb's marketing. And so we've found that with every interaction, we give specific scores to when someone visits our website, when they fill out a form and request information, or of course, if they're requesting help or assistance and actually want a bid from us, that automatically ratchets up the score. And based on that score, we connect with them on a specific schedule and or immediately. As you think about all of this, you need to think about what your lead process really is. We're trying to move people from strangers to visitors, leads, customers, and promoters. And the way that we do that is through, mostly on the marketing side, the attract phase. So you're looking at delivering a blog, having specific keywords that you're optimizing your website and your social media for. And so all of those things are designed to play matchmaker so that when someone types your information into Google or into a social network of their choice, that they're going to find your content and that it's going to be helpful and informative. Once you get them from that attract phase into the convert phase, they've moved from visitors to your website to leads based on the specific action that you've gotten them to take. This is really where the money hits the road. So they're going to fill out a form. They're going to respond to a call to action, or they're going to visit a landing page and take that next step. Based on what you get from them, that changes them from strangers to visitors to now leads. And this is where you're going to start automating that process a little bit more to be proactive and helpful at every touch point while not taking up all of your sales team's time. So as we move into the close phase, this is where the CRM is really important. You need to engage people with ongoing emails. And you're going to see some examples of the decision trees or the automation trees that you can use based on the activity that someone gives you. Or if someone visits your website, then fills out a form and then opens an email from you, you're going to do something different than if they never respond at all. And if they act, you're going to want to speed up that funnel process. Or if they're not as responsive as you'd hoped, you can send them supporting information to, again, kind of be a soft help instead of a soft sell, in order to give them additional information that they need to turn those leads into customers. And then once you have that customer, you want to keep moving forward and delighting that customer to turn them from customers into active promoters of your business. And that's done through surveys, smart content, giving them additional details or help or deeper conversations. That's a big part of what the BizzyWebinar series is about, to continue to delight our existing customers. We have several hundred customers all over the country. And so we try to give you additional information on a regular basis. And we found that this is probably our easiest and best way to continually engage the people that matter most to us, you, the viewer, the listener, the current customer of BizzyWeb. And we know all of that, and we know how things are going through social monitoring, social engagement, and of course, tying back into that CRM. I know when people are visiting my website, I know what companies they're from, I know if they call me or they connect with me, how to continue to deepen that relationship and offer additional information. How does that work in day-to-day action? The lead follow-up process goes from a specific call to action that might be on your website, it might be in an email, it might be in social media of some sort, where you're specifically asking people to do one thing. Your landing pages need to be very, very clear, very concise, and only ask for one item. And again, what you ask that person should match the value of the content that you're going to deliver. So for an example, an ebook that we have on user-centered design, which is a new way of building websites, includes very little information. So we're just asking for name, phone number, and then what you want to do with your marketing. You just have to click a radio button. It's very easy to do. So as you look at that, that's in the entire process of generating content. So that's the baseline. Let's move now into some nitty-gritty details. So I want to share a little bit about editorial calendars, and then we're going to go into email, social, and then connecting it all up inside of a lead conversion process. So with editorial calendars, you need to really think about your entire world of communication. So in this case, and if you do want this, send me a note. Again, that's dave@bizzyweb.com. Send me a note and I will send you this template. But based on your interaction and based on the content that you're trying to deliver, you want to color code your content and make sure that you have some evergreen content in there. You know that you've got specific seasonality in your business or inside of your marketing. So make sure that you're giving folks what they're expecting, and you need to stay a little bit ahead of what's actually going to happen. So if you're, for example, a commercial builder, you know that now is the time to be building, and this fall is the time to start making decisions for next year, right? So the content that you're giving them right now is probably designed to help move forward with 2019 projects, right? So what you need to know when you're budgeting for a major improvement to a building. And again, this is completely different by every range or expertise of a business. But think about the commitments and the decisions that your best customers are making right now. And you need to be a little bit ahead of that, right? So choose a single system. In this case, this is a simple Excel document, or it's also a shared Google Doc. So multiple people can go in there and monitor and add content. You want to allow for different types of content. You can see all the different colored content inside of here, whether it's holidays, campaigns, ebooks, webinars, products, experiments, other things that you're doing. And then again, think about seasonality and then use that seasonality to sprinkle in evergreen content, things that are going to be plannable, but then also leave some time for current content, for social engagement, for social interaction. We have a client who does windows and commercial windows, for example, and a big part of what they need to do is connect, interact, and engage over social networks. You need to leave some time aside for that. And you can't plan out what someone's going to say on your social network or some hot topic. You need to be able to respond and to ride that social wave. So make sure that you're connecting, you're assigning owners, and that you keep your editorial calendar updated. You need to be reviewing your calendar at least monthly, but probably take a super deep dive once a quarter, review it monthly, and then update it as you build content. So probably several times a week as you update content, you want to track that and measure it and make sure that you've got it all in one spot so that you can see your entire universe of communication. Say, we've got editorial calendars. Let's talk through email. Email is the easiest way to proactively push content to your customers. In order to engage people over an email campaign, you need to think about how you're going to deliver helpful and useful content. I'm going to talk about a specific guideline for the types of content that you should be delivering in social media next. But if you're thinking about what you need to do, you need to make sure that your content is helpful first and foremost, and it's not essentially salesy. Nobody likes to be sold on social media. However, social media and especially email is a vital part of making the purchase decision. You want to engage, you want to connect, you want to inform yourself. And so your content should be designed to help drive that content and drive that interaction. So as you get people out, you're going to connect with them via email to download a guide, and then you can automate that so that you're sending a reminder or that you're adding an additional step in the process, maybe giving someone an additional thing that they might not have thought about before. And so you're filling a machine. So as we go into this, this is what the interaction page or screen on HubSpot CRM looks like. I can see that for my content, I've got 194 views, 31 submissions, and then average page time on site, a few seconds. I know that this is actually delivering things, and you want to trend that, make sure that you're trending more positively as you go over time. So as we look at submissions, and then we go into what the details of that content are. You know, I have a whole bunch of direct traffic, social media, organic reach, paid. This is all filtering content in that I can track inside of my customer relationship management database, my CRM, and make specific and leveraged bets. So that goes into a workflow, right? So I have a monthly newsletter, or I'm doing regular content on my social media, and I'm trying to get people to fill out a form with their email address. Based on that, I'm going to deliver content that matches what they requested. And as I go through that, I'm looking for enrollment triggers. So if someone fills out a form, I'm going to, inside of my CRM, set the life cycle stage to a marketing qualified lead, set the property owner to the person that's responsible for that business line, send an internal email to notify, and then you're going to either wait or take some action. And then in this case, we're sending an additional email with more information. And based on what they do inside of that, we're going to either say, you know, did they open that form? No or yes. So if they didn't open it, we're going to wait for 4 days. Then we're going to send another email, and then we're going to go back into that yes, no. But if they did open that and they clicked it, then we're going to set it to a qualified lead and send them additional notes and connect up with them. So if the contact fills out that form to talk, if they don't fill it out, well, then it's gone. And if they do, then we're going to move them forward. So you need to look at what your customer activity really is going to be. So as you look at this, what types of emails do they open? Then you can take that action and segment that person into what they're really interested in. This is where having the color coordinated information can be helpful, because you can color coordinate by the different types of topics that someone is interested in, or maybe by the marketing persona. And if you subscribe to any of the persona marketing stuff, or if you scroll back through or just search persona in BizzyWeb's content over our past few events. About a month ago, we did an entire series on personas. So if you know that you've got a person that fits a specific type of customer, you can deliver information that's relevant to that customer. You'll know what emails that they open, but then you can also know with a great CRM what they click on inside of your messages, the most popular pages for them and in general on your website, what their social networks are, what their common first actions are, and you can deliver information that resonates with them automatically. And so you fill that all in. So that leads us into social media. I do want to take one step back and make sure that we don't have any questions here. So I'm going to just scroll a little bit. Looks like no questions. Again, if you do have questions, go into that chat window and you just click here to say something. And we do have a bunch of folks watching right now. So I would encourage you to ask questions if something's not making sense or if you have additional follow-up based on anything that I've covered. That's the way to do it. Or again, just send an email to dave@BizzyWeb.com and we'll take care of you. So as we talk about social media inside of your marketing automation, you need to think about the content that you're delivering and how it matches what people are actually doing. This is brand new research that came out last week. The proportion of each of these networks that used, or for people that you're using news inside of that network, 36% of folks have used Facebook to get their news. WhatsApp 15%, Twitter 11%, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that. There's specific ways to reach. So again, we're still seeing a lot of follow-up and connections with Facebook. If you're trying to reach a general market and you're trying to connect up with them, again, that conversion is going down. In 2016, it was 42% of folks were getting their messaging from, or their news from Facebook. Now that's down to 36. Right? So we're seeing a decrease in approvals. WhatsApp's going up a little bit. Twitter's holding about steady. All of the other stuff that's in there, Facebook Messenger and Instagram, Snapchat, they're all sort of trending up. But again, Facebook's huge, but it's decreasing a little bit. So as you think about this, I promised this earlier, your connections and the way that you should deliver content should match. This goes back into our editorial calendar, but half of what you share should be interesting and entertaining posts. Those are engaging content opportunities. This is things designed to capture people's attention, engage them in conversation, get them talking, get them thinking, something that people would say, oh, that's cool, that's interesting, right? So that's engage. Next up, you want to inform. 30% of what you do should be designed to offer helpful information to prove that there's depth to your content as well as engaging content. So it's helpful, it's engaging, and it's actually useful. And then the last 20% is to promote your business. So as we dig a little bit deeper, again, inside of this, if you're looking at how all of these work, the different main things that you can do through social networks are networking, photo sharing, video over recorded networks, and live. So as we look at this, Facebook is usually pretty good for networking. The two that aren't really big on networking are YouTube and what's our bottom one? I'm blanking on it. I'll think of it in a second. Photo sharing, about the same. So between networking and photo sharing, you've got a lot of content inside of there. Once you get into recorded video, that moves a little bit deeper into YouTube. And then all of our networks are pretty good, with the exception of LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest for live video. So that's how all of this stuff works. The key is you want to use social media to build and expand relationships, increase brand awareness, and then also grow your email list, because that is how you're going to automate and how you're going to continue to connect with those people that matter most. As you look at content inside of social networks, you can turn questions like, how do I ensure that my pipes won't burst this winter? Or what's a simple way to pick the right wine? Or how do I get more people to show up for my events, into social network content? So how do I ensure my pipes won't burst? 5 ways to protect your pipes from freezing this winter. Note that right now we're a little bit ahead of that in our editorial calendar. So that's something that we want to look at for the fall. right? At least if you're in Minneapolis, like BizzyWeb is. Again, how do I get more people to show up for my events? 10 ways to sell more tickets at your next event. You want to have shareable content. It needs to be useful. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be visual. And sometimes it needs to be emotional. You need to be really careful, especially in today's environment. There's a lot of real hot button topics that are happening right now. And half of the country is in vehement disagreement with the other half of the country on what's acceptable inside of the market right now, inside of social justice and content. And there's a lot of hot emotions everywhere. So as you do your content, my recommendation is going to be to keep it on the E for everybody kind of level, and make sure that your stuff isn't too far leaning one way or another, unless that's part of your social strategy or if it's part of who you are as an organization. Of course, if you're a church or some sort of a social justice nonprofit, you're going to have very different content than a commercial builder. In general, the more B2B you get, the more connections that you're making between businesses, the more general your content should be. And you want to make sure that you're just leading. But again, on that 50% on that engaging part, making sure that this is all helpful and informative and engaging at every level can get you really great results. And then as we look at making the rubber hit the road and nurturing and converting those leads, this is where taking that time to score the different interactions and the kinds of information that you're connecting and collecting from your customers, and then what you do with that information, not to spam them, and certainly not to reuse that information in some way that's not in line with what you're telling people you're going to deliver. Making sure that if you know that a customer is specifically interested in one kind of information or one type of service that you offer, give them additional information relating to that as you move forward. So each of those things, if someone visits your website, that's a relatively low score thing because they're just checking you out. If they fill out a form, that's going to be higher. If they visit your website 4 times, that's going to indicate that they're probably more interested. And specifically, if they're drilling through different parts of your website, like maybe if they're browsing your About Us information and then going into your portfolio and then visiting a contact form, you know that that's a customer that is deeply engaged and expects a connection. So you want to connect with them. That's a very high lead score. So you can automate tasks to specifically follow up with that customer, and then your CRM can automate that and capture those touch points. Some CRMs are very good at this. Salesforce has all kinds of operations and things that you can do. It's very, very customizable at the expense of overwhelm. HubSpot, I found, hits that sweet spot between easy to use and very powerful, but make sure that you're connecting and using something that works for you. In general, for very, very small businesses, if you're going to have 1 or 2 connections, then a tool like Salesforce can be helpful. A tool like HubSpot is generally best for companies that are established and ready to use that information, but don't have tremendously complex needs. There's lots of integrations and lots of things that you can do inside of HubSpot, but if you need granular level connections and granular level integrations with a very specific API, and that API just doesn't connect with HubSpot, then you need to find another tool. So you can track your deals through your process. And what I really love is inside of HubSpot CRM, for example, as I move from presentation scheduled to decision maker to contract sent to closed won, I'm proactively being prompted as a salesperson to add additional information, and or as I collect additional information from my clients as they're deepening their relationship with me, as they're responding to additional helpful information that I'm delivering to them, I know that information and I can continue to build a more complete picture so that with every interaction, I'm helping at a much more specific level. And I know as much as possible in order to help them make real decisions. You can only do that if you're tracking responses. And I've already talked about the automation bits a little bit, but if you collect this in a CRM and set tasks based on the responses, yes or no, have they opened an email? Have they not opened an email? Have they visited a web page? Have they not visited a web page? Have they called you? Have they attended something? Yes or no. If they haven't, add more helpful information based on what you know about that person, based on what you know about that persona of person. Give them additional helpful information on a slow drip, right? So connect with them and automate those connections so that you're adding value with every single interaction. In summary, you want to take some time to rank your best deals and figure out what all of that really means for you and your business. Lean on this and use CRM to automate and capture all of your touch points. Tools like HubSpot CRM ties in with HubSpot sales and marketing software to do all of the things, the decision trees and all of the email outreach and stuff. That's one of the paid versions of what HubSpot does. If you have a sales team, giving the sales team the ability to increase their output by 5 or 10-fold via marketing automation is equivalent to hiring 5 more people. If you can do that without spending additional money, it makes it really easy to make a case for having additional spend or additional investment on having a better and more automated system. If your existing team can do more without any additional headcount, without any additional tax base, without any additional extra headache, you're far, far ahead of the game. Track those deals through the process and add information as necessary, and make sure that you're handing that information as a marketing professional off to the sales team. I've heard it said, and I kind of like this, that marketing and sales are sort of being collapsed into each other into smarketing, right? Sales and marketing is really the way that most businesses are interacting now. The hand fits very nicely into the glove now. And so everything that one group is doing, the other group needs to know, and it needs to inform decisions on both sides of that fence. There really isn't a fence anymore. We're all just hanging out in the backyard at the pool and bringing in new customers and engaging them ever deeper. You need to just focus on activity that gets results. Connect with people, measure and track results, and show that ROI based on the results and the connections that you see in your business. Okay, finally, if you subscribe to this event today, you're going to receive an email shortly with information on how you can set a quick 15-minute connection with me or someone else on the BizzyWeb sales team to help you figure out what your most urgent needs are inside of your marketing and easy and free ways to improve your marketing results. This is not going to be a sales conversation. This is a fact-finding mission to see how we can offer you advice and details to continue to grow your business. So if you're open to getting helped, if you're open to sharing some ideas or some results that you've been struggling with and letting the experts at BizzyWeb give you a few basic tips on how you can continue to improve those results. And yes, of course, if you want to work with us, fantastic. But my goal and my mission in life is to help as many people as possible, and the rest takes care of itself. So if you need some help, we're here for you. We would love to chat, and I would love to connect up. Again, I don't see any questions on the backside of this. Oh, I see, here we go. My chart showed that 15% used WhatsApp for news in the past week. How does a business use WhatsApp to provide news? This is people digesting apps or digesting news. So we're not publishing news through WhatsApp. Instead, this is how businesses are finding, or how people are finding information. So you kind of need to be cognizant and related as far as how people are ingesting that information. It's just a different tool that they're using. So the point of the WhatsApp usage is that they're not relying on traditional social networks as much as they used to. So 15% of folks are just not getting that information from Facebook anymore. They're instead getting it from WhatsApp. And WhatsApp tends to be a little bit more national or international in scope and reach. But also this tends to be folks that are a little bit more concerned about their privacy, a little bit more concerned about connecting only with friends and family that they need. And so they're using that information that way. So thank you, LJ, for that question. And again, if you have additional questions, be sure to send me more info. And for the folks that are watching, don't be shy about connecting up, asking additional questions. Would love to help you. Send a note to dave@BizzyWeb.com or simply reach out and connect out with us by responding to the note that you're about to get if you registered. If you did not register, here's how to reach me. You can tweet me at Dave1Meyer, send me a note, give me a call, whatever works for you. I'm here to help, and I hope that we can help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a fantastic afternoon, and we'll talk to you very soon.